Howdy everybody in YouTube land. What we have in front of us today is another Indextron. Seems to be doing a lot of these videos lately because I'm kind of hyper fixated on it at the moment. So this particular one is a little less known. It's not the little watch cube. It's not as sleek and it's not as small and not nearly as lightweight as that one, but it's still an Indextron. So these go for a bit cheaper than the other stuff. So now, I don't know much about this particular model. From what I saw online, there's two different versions of this one, and the one I keep seeing is the other version of this, which has a separate box that has to plug into it. I don't know if it's like, because I think it does AM, FM radio and stuff like that, because it's meant for automotive use. While this one is just a TV, but it's got this weird little thingy that clips on the bottom of it, and I'm not sure what it's for. I have a feeling that this was designed in a day where, in some cars like conversion vans and stuff like that of more modern times, you have the ceiling mount flip down DVD units. I think this is basically the same thing, it just predates it. So this bolts up onto the ceiling and it just clips on, but I don't honestly know. But the point of it is, it's still an Indextron. It's just a lot thicker and a lot less lightweight. It weighs so much more than the watch cube does. So I don't know what this does. I think this is just a mounting plate, and that's it. So I don't know if it works. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, this is just a mounting plate. I don't know if it works. I don't know if these have the same capacitor issues as everything else does in there. It is a Sony model number XKV-55 and runs 12 to 24 volts. That's kind of crazy. I don't see a date code on it. It might be in the Japanese text here, but I can't read Japanesium, so that's not gonna help. Someone else can translate that. But all right, so I think it's like, do I want to take it apart or do I want to just plug it in and see what happens? I think just to save grace, we just take it apart. Let's see what we got on the back side. There's this weird projection switch too. I'm not sure what that's for. It even has its own fan. So this thing gets warm. Audio video in, a diversity connector, I don't know. There's a lot of things about this that I find strange. So yeah, I think I want to pop the top lid off. I just want to see what's going on inside before I plug it in and turn it on, because I want to know what the state of the capacitors are. So let's do that first. I got the lid off, and this thing is built like a tank. We've got a much bigger flyback compared to the watch cubes that I'm typically used to seeing. So that's just kind of hiding in there. But look at the size of the deflection yoke. This thing is insane. I've not seen anything like this at all. This is intense. I almost wonder if this is designed to be for projection and there's a lens system that bolts on it. I don't know. That's so strange. This thing is built incredibly insane, but on quick glance, 1992. No, maybe not. I can't really tell. So 88 maybe, 88. 88. Yeah. 88. So maybe this thing was made in 1988. I don't know. But it's got those caps in it, like this brown one. I don't know if they're leaking or anything yet. I can't really see up underneath it, but I don't know if this is an actual Indextron or not. It says it is. Yeah, there's the sensor. But it's got a much bigger neck compared to the watch cubes. And look at the size of the deflection yoke. That's like a full-size color CRT yoke. Yeah. I don't know why, but I almost want to plug this thing just straight into the wall. I don't know why I want to, but I do. I'm gonna actually, before I do that, I want to take this board off and I'm gonna look under here and I just want to inspect everything. So let's do that. Alright, so I pulled what I presume is the vertical board off, or part of it, because that's the vertical output IC, and then there's that regulator just like on the watch cubes. And sure enough, you can see him in there pissing, and that's not flux either, because I can take my screwdriver and I can move this stuff around. Yeah, it's, see, yeah, it's they're all pissing. Alright, so yeah, and then I'm looking at them and there's date codes of 1992. So this has the same problem as the watch cubes. There's just caps just peeing everywhere. So I got to take this thing all the way apart, and I have to start getting my parts list together so I know what I got to order. But yeah, this looks like the deflection yoke goes through this switchboard too. So I wonder if that just flips and reverses the image so you can use it as projection. Just because of how big everything is. Look how big the flyback is. Look how big the yoke is. It's a full-size CRT. You know, as far as the neck goes. It's kind of fascinating to me. But, yeah, we've got bad caps. It's these little light brown ones that go bad. Everywhere. There's like down in here. Is that the SME series? I can't tell. Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell, but yep, they got to be changed. So let's get it all the way apart so we can start getting the parts order list thing together. So unfortunately, they designed this one like they do projection TV sets. So I got the focusing anode disconnected, so that was fairly straightforward. But the problem is this high voltage lead. Well, it's siliconed up on the side of the picture tube, so I can't get it off that way. But the way this is designed is at the end of this lead back in here, there's a little metal cup soldered on there with a wing like this. So you gotta press the lead all the way in and then turn it so it'll slide out with these grooves right here. See those grooves? That's where the wing cup has to slide out. Well, unfortunately, I can't get enough leverage on here to turn it and pull it out. So I'm probably going to be stuck removing the whole flyback transformer, which doesn't seem to be that difficult. There's 1, 2, 3, and then all of those. I already took the screw off the back, which goes through here because this projection switch is connected to it. And actually, this projection switch does reverse the leads to the yoke. So, yeah, I find that interesting. Why would you... Anyways, so we have that, and then that should free up this flyback, so I should be able to just pull it out, unsolder it and pull it out. Then I can just rotate this out of here, I think, as long as the wings didn't get bent so far out of shape where I can't pull it. So, yeah, that's where we are right now. Yep, because I got to get all this apart to be able to get to the capacitors to be able to get a cap list together. I've not tried to search for service documentation on this particular set yet, but yeah, that's where we are at the current moment. And I can see where it's some of these caps are definitely leaking. They have to be changed. For example, you can see it on this video board here where this has been worked on before. I mean, look at that. You can see where someone's tried to clean it up once before. And, yeah, it's kind of nasty. So, yeah, it's been tinkered with before, but the problem is the rest of it has to go. You can't just replace these two and then expect for the best. You got to change them all because they're all starting to leak. Well, not all of them, but the majority of them are. But I want peace of mind, and I want this thing to work properly, so they're all going bye-bye. Unfortunately, the bit that's in my Heiko is not really big enough to get this flyback off, so I can't get that broke loose from the board, but I was able to get the board loose to be able to manipulate everything, and I finally got this cup out. See what I mean? It's got this little wing. It slides in there and you pushes up against a spring, and then you turn it, which locks it in. So I got it out finally. So this can be set off to the side for now. But yeah, look at that monster. That thing is huge. Compared to the watch cube, that thing is a monster. Yeah, I don't know why the difference in design yet, but there is. So, alright, that releases the power supply deflection board area stuff. Now I'm looking for that C22011. Oh yeah, you can see some leakage going on down there too. You can see it. It's leaking out from under that cap. So, yeah, the caps need changed. This broke off on me, and I forget where that came from. I'm pretty sure it was over here. But, yeah, so there's some caps on there I got to get to as well, but I'll save that for last. So, alright, time to start writing down values and seeing where we can go. This is the D1 board here. This is the D2 board. And this is the B board, which this is, wow, modified. This is the color board. This does the index scanning and all of that. And then this is the C board, and this is a switch board, which makes sense. Okay. And that's where we are. So there's some kind of a, yeah, I don't know if that's power supply related or what. I was kind of looking for that, that's a mod. I was kind of looking for that CX22011, unless that's it there. Because you can't get them anymore, and we gotta hope like hell it's not bad. So, okay. What do we have on this one? Do we have, no, but we do have a chip. Alright, well, we don't know what's wrong with it besides leaking caps. There could be another fault here. We don't know, but I can't even begin to troubleshoot that until I get them changed for obvious reasons. So let's get all that knocked out of the way first. I got to get my values written down somewhere, and I think we'll be alright. So I managed to get the flyback transformer out, by ripping all the plating out with it, but that's fine. I can always patch that up later. But I needed to get it out so I can get to the back capacitors, because once again we got another one that's corroded and leaking. So, yep, alright. Time to get all of that crap. Yeah. I'm building out my capacitor list, and I noticed there's a lot of capacitor corrosion down here into this chip too. And it's very hard to read this chip, so I had to go at it with a Q-tip and alcohol, and it appears to be an NJM 2073D, which is a stereo audio power amplifier IC. So I don't know if they're using that specifically for the speaker, or if they're using this to drive the vertical stage, or who knows. It's probably the speaker, but point is, that's what that IC is, in case anyone runs into one of these with that thing completely gone or something. So that's what I've been able to deduce, but in the meantime, I'm still just writing down capacitor values. Well, it's Christmas time over here in Tech 9 Industries. So we have a big bag of capacitors. Now, it's been a little while since I've had to do a cap order, and I had to put this on a pay in 4 plan. But beside the point of that, so I have everything I need in this bag to fix a few things. One of them is that Indextron, which is this video here, but I got like some 2200s and stuff like that to top up some stock for fixing power supplies, because I ran out of those parts. But so I have that, and hopefully there's some caps in here for another one too. I forget what. Oh, I think the ThinkPad. But anyways, so got the parts ordered in, so let's get this bag opened up and get everything we need to get that Indextron fully recapped, so we can power it up and do any further troubleshooting if there's any more problems. Oh yeah, I want to go in rant mode for a minute. I've noticed a trend with Mauser. So, for example, Like, I don't have any parts organizer drawers or anything, so I have to leave everything in bags, right? So, for example, like this one, it tells you in the description 16 volt, 1200 microfarad, right? But I'm noticing more and more are coming like this. General purpose 7mm. There's no value on that. You might be able to determine it by figuring that out, but I don't want to have to think. This makes my brain think. Or try to sort through this bag like, oh, that's a 3.3 at 50, right? So I'm noticing that trend. Like over here, same thing. Over here, same thing. I'm starting to notice more and more components coming from Mauser where the values are not clearly marked on the label, and I do not like that trend. It's kind of annoying, actually. So I'm going to have to go through all of these bags and then physically write on the label what they are so I know what they are. It's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Got everything all labeled up. Well, it's time to go down a mass recapacide hole. So here we go. Well, it's a good thing I don't eat seafood, because this smells like pure ass. Yeah, this thing's quite bad. So I did this corner now, and I'm in the process of pulling everything else out, and look how bad that one got. I scratched the solder mask off and tried to clean some of this up, but it's pretty bad. So now I'm reaching a point where it gets interesting, because there's all of these bodges on the back, and one of them goes to one of the caps that I have to remove. So you've got to keep an eye out on where and how these bodges are so you can remove them properly. Because I've already kind of burnt that old foam there. But yeah, we've got to get that all unpatched and then patched back up during the replacement process here. Got the rest of these caps pulled out. There's a little bit of damage from leakage there and there and there. I checked the traces and they're okay. But the other thing that concerns me too is this 10 microfarad 50 volt cap. That thing is huge. I wonder if it's because of maybe high ripple current ratings, which is not something I looked for when I got the replacements. I'm not entirely certain on that one. Yeah, that has me slightly concerned because I bet that gets hotter than hell and blows up. So apparently the W series is custom. So this was a custom made part for Sony for this specific requirement application. So you're not getting this. Judging by its size, it's probably not only is it ultra low impedance ESR, it's probably also very high in ripple current, because I bet this is like part of the pincushion your yoke or something, and there's a lot of current that flows through this. So I bet that's going to get hotter than hell and go pop. But I guess we shall find out. Alright, so there we go with that board. It's done now, but I'm still suspicious about that one, so I'm probably going to put the original one back in there and maybe get some film caps or something to use there. I don't know yet, because I just don't think that's going to work. I think that's going to get hot and then go bang. But we'll see. Luckily, this one was fairly straightforward. There's nothing really special to it. So all of that's done now. So I got to put that little thingy-me-bob back on. But I also took care of some weird solder joint issues here. But this is the vertical deflection, pin cushion, horizontal, whatever. Now I'm moving on to this board, and yeah, this one was pretty bad under there. So that's out. That one over there was a little bit corroded, so I removed it. So I'm just plugging right along. And there we go. They're all done. Now, the modern versions of these non-polar capacitors are a lot longer than the original ones, so I had to fold them over. Hopefully they clear and don't get away in anything. Also, I had to remove the shield in order to get to these 4 caps there, especially this one, because this shield like wraps right next to it. So okay, now I think that's it. The only thing left to do now is the CRT neck board, which there's only 3 caps on that, and we should be able to actually test this thing. That's so exciting. Hopefully it works. Alright, so we're back together now. Haven't powered it on yet. I just got the wires prepped. So everything's screwed in. Well, not everything, but enough. So everything's in. One of those caps I had leaned over was too far over, so this board was getting in the way. So I had to bend it back down a little. So that didn't work out as planned, but it is what it is. So here we go. So we're going to connect you up. So, will it work? That thing's pulling a ton of current. Holy crap, we got a raster. Oh boy, that didn't work very well. No. Well, we're getting there. Yeah, that's not good. I'm wondering if it's that cap in there. Well, let's find out, shall we? Oh yeah, she's getting warm. Yep, so we're gonna have to probably put that one back in. Oh well, it is what it is. So see what we can do to blow it up. Yeah, see, that's not good. Whoa. Well, we got a picture, kind of. It's working. Wow, it's actually working though. I wonder if the CRT is starting to go bad, and maybe that's why, because it starts off real bright and then slowly. Yeah, that makes me wonder. I don't know. I don't see any smoke, but that thing's pulling a ton of current. So these power supplies are in parallel. It's pulling 4 amps. That thing is pulling a ton of current. But let me get a signal source hooked up. This thing's very strange because watch this. Power's on. And you hear the high voltage and all that crap. Look at this. Starts off really bright. Does that. Then comes back. And then it just, yeah, there it is. But it's washed out. Well, you can't tell in the camera because, yeah. So as this thing runs, it becomes less and less and less washed out, as you can see right now. Yeah, it's very, very weird. I have no audio, although that's not surprising because I think the chip is bad. Alright, so I got the pattern generator hooked up. SMPTE bars, so here we go. See, that's so strange. But this thing is, I can't get it in camera. Ooh, there it is. I can't get it in camera, but this thing is insanely, insanely bright. It's like blinding me, it's so bright. I don't know how to get this on camera. I don't know where the brightness control is on this thing. Yeah, the color is absolutely brilliant. But there's like, it's weird. So on the back is this projection switch. So I'm going to flip that switch. See, it does the same thing. Doesn't matter how long it's off or on. Ah, yeah, that's what it does. Yeah, so it's set up for projection. Interesting. Alright, so there's a quick little excerpt online that we ran into. So, apparently, this thing is designed to work between 12 to 24 volts. But really, it doesn't work properly at 12 volts. It needs to be above 17 and a half. So, somewhere between 18.5, might as well say laptop DC brick voltage, somewhere in there. It seems to work better. So, also, the other tidbit of information I learned is all of these units were recalled. This unit's not supposed to exist. Sony recalled all of these because of the weird design issues. But somehow this one survived. So, this thing is going to be pretty rare, I'm going to assume. Now, one thing I am noticing right away is it's working fine. The raster is extremely bright, but the controls are up here. But I can't find the screen control. I don't know where that is yet. But also, perhaps more importantly, this capacitor is not really getting hot at all. The reason why it's getting warm is this is getting hot. This thing here is getting blisteringly hot. Because not only does it contain the vertical output IC, but it also contains a voltage regulator. I'm going to assume it's the voltage regulator that's getting super hot. So, I don't know how I'm going to solve this problem yet, but yeah, I can't get this thing to lock on right at all. Red, green, blue. Red, green, blue. So, color demod's working. It's pretty good bandwidth, too. Yeah, one thing I've noticed is, yeah, there's a little bit of there, but not going to be perfect. But it is working. And my current consumption's a lot lower than what it was before with the voltage higher. So, yeah, I just got to figure out what's going on with this. That's not supposed to get that hot, but it is. It's getting incredibly hot. That explains why all these capacitors were leaking as bad as they were, because they were getting baked to death from this heatsink. So, yeah. So that one's going to have a similar issue, so. Okay, it seems to be working, but I just got to locate the screen control now, because it's going to be somewhere in here. I just don't know where yet. So at this point, I think I'm just going to go ahead and put it back together, because, I mean, I don't have any service data on this thing, nor can I find any service data, so there's not a whole lot more I can do with it. And regardless, it's working anyway. So we've got the tuner is working, video input's working, the dimmer works, all that stuff works. Yeah, so I think at this point, the only thing more we can do is just put it back together. And the whole goal of this video was to actually get it working, and we succeeded with that. So it is working properly now. Whether it's normal or not with some of this behavior, I don't know. These TVs are technically not supposed to exist anyways, so point of it is, it's a novelty, it's fun to play around with, watch a little something on it or whatever, and then put it away. So just the fact that we have it and it functions really says something about it. So anyways, I think we're just going to go ahead and put this guy back together and just call it done. And that's the polarity of how the cable is supposed to hook up, by the way. So, alright, so we're back together again. All the screws are in place here, in here on the other side, like supposed to. So, let's turn it on. Let's make sure everything looks good. Man, this thing's so bright. The camera won't even... It just makes the color all screwy. It's not... Yeah. It looks good in person, though. It's just this thing is huge. As far as brightness is concerned. But I think Sony knew this thing was going to get hot. Because I can feel the heat just coming out of this fan in the back. It explains the fan that's in here, so... Yeah, everything's fine. It looks like it runs hot normally anyways, because you can see distortion in this case where that vertical circuit is. So this thing just runs hot. Looks like it always has. So yeah, it's together, it's working, and that was the whole goal of this video. So Alrighty then, that is a power down moment. So that is a Sony XKV-55 repair. That basically just needed, well, all new caps. Luckily there's no other problems with it, so. Yep, and this capacitor is staying cold, so why they went with that I have no idea. But it's working fine without it, so I'm going to leave it alone. Anyways, yeah, juicy. Well, if you like this video and like this kind of content, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe and all of that fun stuff. And don't forget to leave a comment if you want to. And until next time, guys, thank you for watching.